A 6-year-old is caught in the middle of a cross-country custody battle. Her mother has been arrested in New Mexico for parental kidnapping.
The dad, who legally has full custody, wants a child back in Boston, but state police decided the girl should stay here in New Mexico with the mother's new husband. The father says he is baffled why New Mexico State Police would arrest his ex-wife for kidnapping and leave the child with someone who helped her do it.
I don't want my daughter being a Casey Anthony case. I don't want my daughter found dead. I'm really concerned.
Now, Massachusetts police issued an arrest warrant for the mother for parental kidnapping, and New Mexico State Police arrested her at this home in Albuquerque last Monday. Both state police and CYFD say they determined the girl was safe in her home in Albuquerque with Stephen Drew. That is the woman's new husband. Neither agency would tell us that they've actually checked to see if the new husband has any custody rights or checked his criminal background. All three agencies told us this is an out-of-state child custody dispute that is not their responsibility.
The case of a former mortgage loan officer accused of killing 2 of his clients could go to the jury by the end of the week. Ronald Santiago is accused of killing Greg and Bernadette Olemacher in their West Side home in 2005. Relatives of the dead couple are expected to testify today. The defense has tried to show that the couple's own daughter, Renee, could be the killer. The first defense witness was an APD lie detector expert who testified that her test results were inconclusive. Again, the case could go to the jury by the end of the week.
Well, they couldn't get him for a suspected pay-to-play scandal, so they got him for tax evasion. Now the son of a close friend of former Governor Bill Richardson has struck a plea deal. Mark Carrera was a central figure in the scandal, where investigators say investment deals were steered to Richardson's political supporters. Carrera entered a no-contest plea yesterday and paid back almost $330 grand he owed for not paying his state taxes in 2009. By the way, that was the same year he made $6.5 million. He was facing 5 years in prison, and he got just 3 months probation. Carrera collected $22 million in finder's fees during the Richardson years from companies that won deals to invest billions in state money. The State Tax and Revenue Department says this case was not about going after Richardson's circle.
When the tax department deals with a taxpayer, we don't care about party affiliation. We're not interested in where you stand politically.
Mark's father, Anthony, is a close friend of Bill Richardson and was one of his fundraisers. Mr. Richardson has always proclaimed he was never involved with these investments and has done nothing wrong.
Omari's Law, named after Omari Varela, who was allegedly beaten to death by his mother, has passed its first hurdle.
It now heads to the House floor. This is in the Roundhouse. After passing the House Judiciary Committee last night, several state legislators introduced the bill. It would require CYFD to take immediate custody of any child who shows signs of abuse. These are things such as bruises, burns, and bite marks. The parents would then be entitled to a hearing within 48 hours. We'll keep you up to date on that. The New Mexico House passed a tough new drunk driving bill on a 51-5 vote.
But now it may not make it through the end of the session. That's the issue. The measure would add a mandatory prison time sentence for first-time DWI offenders with previous felonies. Convicted drunk drivers would face new requirements before they stop using an ignition interlock device to get their license back. DWI offenders on house arrest would also have to use a breathalyzer to determine whether they remain sober. Now, similar proposals have failed in the Senate. We'll keep you posted. Well, it's been over a month since the shooting at Berendo Middle School in Roswell, and now a group is looking to create a first-of-its-kind crisis response team there.
They say we need people who know how to handle these situations and who are ready to step in. The Chavez County CASA program, that's court-appointed special advocates, was one of the first crisis teams that responded to this school shooting. And they say the students in the school could have used even more help so they could heal.
The shooting happened just so recently, and it has made us all realize that we, one, did a great job, but two, could learn to do a better job.
Carrie Lee Cloutier with the Chavez County CASA program. It's a program that helps kids. Is spearheading a bill that would fund a crisis response team in Chavez, Eddy, and Lee counties. The bill asks for $250,000 to develop a team of courthouse dogs, forensic interviewers, therapists, and victim advocates. The teams would be there after a tragedy to help kids throughout the healing process. They would respond to all types of trauma cases, including rapes and suicides. The bill is still pending in the Roundhouse. The group says if the bill doesn't pass this year, they'll try it again in the next session. That would be next year. Well, state legislators are still talking about a way to save the state's lottery scholarships. The fund has more money going out than coming in. There's been a lot of disagreement about how to fix this program and this problem with it, with a number of bills proposed in the legislature. Some would increase the required GPA to get the scholarships. Others would cut funding for every student. Right now, the scholarships cover full tuition. Yesterday, a group of students talked about this problem.
Making sure that we come up with something that's solvent, that helps students. Otherwise, every student suffers.
The only bill that has made significant progress this session is one that would take the money in the scholarship fund and distribute it evenly among all students, meaning kids would probably not have their full tuition covered. It passed the House and is now being considered by the Senate. There is $11 million in the budget set aside to help the program this year. That is until legislators can come up with a permanent fix.